Now the child is pretty curious to know everything. Both face issues. The severity, differs in both the cases. My first experience here was like that I want to study here. I want to learn.
Hi, welcome to Slate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters. Today, we have Ms. Palak Raghav, who's the counseling psychologist at the Heritage School. Let's speak to her and understand more about her role in the school and some general concerns that parents are likely to have while joining their kid in a school. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you, Santan. Thank you.
To begin with, can you tell what makes Heritage a unique choice for parents while joining their kid in a school?
All right. So at Heritage, as you very well know, we function on an experiential learning based system. So it means that rote learning is not at all present there. The focus entirely shifts on how the student is making sense of the world through themselves, and they eventually learn to be independent. And I think that is very much required in today's time, when the focus entirely needs to be shifted towards an inquiry based system and how the child discovers their surroundings and makes eventual sense of it. So I think that is something which makes our school unique in its approach.
Great. And you being a counseling psychologist, can you throw more light into your responsibilities and how your day is usually like at the school?
Yeah. So my primary responsibility is to look after the emotional and social well-being of the students. So the area around which my interactions revolve, including their mental health and how they are able to speak to a person in the school. And they need, whenever they need any sort of support, they need any sort of helping hand, they can trust the counselor that ma'am is there to help me. So apart from that, I also collaborate with a lot of parents, teachers and stakeholders in order to organize a lot of seminars, mental health workshops, touching on different topics like anxiety, resilience, empathy, emotional well-being. And the role of a counselor is pretty much diverse, I would say. So I also intend to help in the policies of the school on how we can create anti-bullying policies for the students so that they can help them, feel safe over here. So that is my...
Got it. And since you deal with a lot of students, were you able to draw any patterns or find out some general concerns that a lot of students these days are facing?
So I would say that especially after COVID hit, so there was a sudden spike in the way the children used to look at themselves, the way they used to feel that their bodies are not enough. So a lot of self-related issues have spiked up, including anxiety and certain stress-related problems, a lot of familial issues as well. So my role here is to help them discover how they can navigate through all these problems with their family, their relationships, and the peers. So a spike is definitely seen in such sort of problems in my school.
And see, I'm sure it is very important for parents also to be on the same page and for them to understand the importance of a psychologist's role in school. So what is it that you wish to express to the parents in order to make it easy for you to handle kids and their problems?
So especially in today's day and age, now parents need to understand that the child is the creator of their own world. And the more we force a child, we tell them to look in a box and be there, do this, do that, follow this rule and don't behave like that, the more the children turn rebellious. And they are curious, they want to ask you, they want to inquire about things, they want to experience things themselves. Way before our times, when we used to follow the school paradigm and whatever questions that the school used to give us, used to mug them up. Now the child is pretty curious to know everything. So as a psychologist, I suggest parents that they should understand their child. I know they have pretty difficult days, they have different schedules, pretty hectic up schedules, but they should spare some time to stay with their child, to make time, give them space to understand. And not even always give advice to them, but give a listening ear at least. Be there for your child so that they can open up and they think that they have someone to confide in, to speak to. So that is really, really integral in today's times.
Got it. And obviously a class will certainly have students with different learning abilities, some with great and some with not so good. So have you seen any pattern where students with great learning abilities are less likely to have these mental issues, or maybe students who are struggling to cope up with the best in the class generally have more opportunities or chances to get into these issues? Have you seen any such patterns as such?
See, the pattern that I have seen is both face issues. The severity, differs in both the cases. The child who is topping up in every single class, he's the star of the class. He always has that urge to stand out at every single parameter, and he has to give that best. So even that feeling creates a lot of sense of, superiority or complex also, that I have to be the best. If I come second, there's nothing for me. So at such moments, a school like ours helps in, because there's no competition. The child can develop at their own speed, at their own pace. We don't have any sort of competition involved where they have to rank up, they have to score a certain thing or something like that. We would say the children who are slow at it, we have inclusive setup at our school, so we do gradually provide them all the learning aids that the child might need to eventually match the level of learning that is expected.
And ma'am, something that parents are very keen about these days is to understand how school balances both academic excellence versus the co-curricular activities. So how do you ensure that both are being balanced right?
So at the Heritage, we focus on a balanced approach. The social, emotional, and physical well-being of the child is given topmost priority over here. It is not like that the curriculum is designed in such a way that the child actually receives the ample amount of time to reflect back on what they have learned and take some time off from their academics. I think that is really, really helpful for the child to understand that there is a world beyond what they study, and they start understanding the world beyond books. So the social part and the physical part is balanced out in such a way. We also have so many sports facilities available. You name it and we have it. Yoga, gymnastics, all-weather swimming pool, a splash pool for the toddlers. And I mean, the classroom, if you see our school now, the classrooms are made in such a manner that they are pretty open and spacious. So once you come here to our school, my first experience here was like that I want to study here. I want to learn. So even if you give me academic pressure, I would be able to cope with it. So that is the kind of enriching and supportive environment that we strive to create for every single child. And that is how the balance is maintained.
That's so nice. And in the interest of time, we are having to wind up for today, but we wish to speak to you very often and try to understand more about the role of a psychologist and how you are making a lot of difference in kids' lives. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure our conversation will certainly be of good help for parents who are looking for good schools in and around your locality. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.